Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be coloring a picture in Fairytopia by Mysticart Mirrors. Is this image here, and I feel like it's very apropos because it is the autumn season and I really like this image. I've printed it on Tone Tan Strathmore paper because I own the PDF. So I will be using the variety of my sets of Black Widows to color this skin today. So if you don't have Black Widows, you can color substitute, but I haven't used my Black Widows for a while and I decided to go ahead and use them for this picture, or at least for the skin. So as always, I will likely put the colors in the description box. I say that likely because sometimes I forget, but I've been pretty on top of it. And I've also popped them up here on the screen for your convenience. And I'm just kicking things off with a nice light layer of olive brown. My olive brown is getting kind of short because I do like this color and I use it a lot as a base for when I'm coloring more warm skin tones. And with this picture, she's like a moss fairy. That's what I came up with in my mind, and that's what I'm going to roll with. So she is going to have a warm skin tone, but I am going to incorporate some green in it because, again, like I said, she's a moss fairy, and I don't know, that's just how I saw it in my mind. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and roll with. Also, if you've noticed, I have my tripod situated a little bit differently. It's at more of an angle because I'm not sitting at my desk. I chose to sit elsewhere because it's rainy and it's just a nice cozy night, and I'm just listening to the rain and coloring this skin, and it was very relaxing. And I'm coloring on top of my PDF binder. If you can see the purple and if you see that little reflective bit sticking out on the side on the right, that's just my dividers. But yeah, I decided to go ahead and color on top of my PDF binder because I was flipping through it to find a picture anyway, and I just never put it back. And I like this surface to color on, and I'm also coloring on top of my clipboard, so I have like a good area to color. But yeah, I've been looking at this image for like the past 2 weeks, and I thought that it was very apropos because of the season. She has pine cones on her head, and I was like, this can be such a nice autumn, winter, even Christmas picture. And because I have the PDF, I can print it multiple times and do it different ways, so that's always fun. And I used to not get the appeal of printing things multiple times or coloring the same image multiple times, but now I get it because you may want to try something new, and as your skills develop, you might want to try coloring something because you're on a different level or you've advanced your skills. So I totally get it now, and I really feel like I might want to color this picture as a Christmas picture again. But for this video, I'm coloring the skin, and for this picture right now, in this moment in time, I'm just going to go for a nice autumnal fairy. So again, the colors will be listed in the description box below, and I hope you enjoy. I really love Mysticart Mirrors. Kristen Glorious Ink, also as she's known, is one of my favorite artists. She's become one of my favorites, and I just feel happiness when I'm coloring a picture from her, and they're always fun for me. Sometimes I get stressed out about the colors, but you know, that's with every picture with me because I'm a waffle. But yeah, I really enjoy her artwork, her images, and they just fill me with joy to color, and they're usually pretty quick. Sometimes they can stretch on for a couple of days for me, but again, that's when I'm growing 3 gray hairs about which colors to use. But for the most part, they go by pretty quickly, and I enjoy the process. So if you have this image and you're going to color along, I hope you have as much fun as I do when I'm coloring her images. And if not, and you're just here to just see what you can learn or pick up, that's great too. I appreciate you watching still. And I will be providing commentary here and there throughout the video, so I will be popping on now and again. But thank you for watching, as I always say, and I hope you enjoy. And if you've noticed, I've been using a light hand because although this paper has tooth to it, meaning it's not smooth paper, and it can definitely take you burnishing when you're doing skin, or just in general. When I personally am coloring, I do light layers, and as you can see, that's what I'm doing here. And you can barely see any color, but I guarantee you it's going down on the page. It's there. And we just want to use a light hand, and mahogany is one of our main colors for the skin, one of our darker colors, and we are using it as a guideline to where we're going to come in with even more darker colors. If you are familiar with my coloring and you've watched a couple of color alongs or how I colors, you know this is pretty much the way it goes. And I just use my colors as a guideline to where I'm going to come in with a darker color mostly, and it really just helps map out how you're going to continue to approach where you're going to put the remainder of your colors. And that's just how I personally color, and like I said, I find it very beneficial for me, and it really helps me figure out what I'm doing and the direction that I'm going in my picture. Here I have my little Huntsman, and yes, I know it is nearing its end. I'm sad about it, but I really like Huntsman. As you can see, it's a well-loved pencil, and Huntsman is going to be one of our darkest colors besides Black Widow, which will be essentially black. Huntsman is our darkest brown, and I really love the name of this pencil, Huntsman. I think it's so cute. I know some people may not like Black Widow's pencils names, but I do for the most part. Any hoozles, we are taking Huntsman and we are just mapping out our shadow areas, and wherever it's an angle in something, it's usually a shadow area. I don't know if that's gonna make sense. It might sound like geometry class and I might start crying because y'all know I hate math. But if it's at an angle, it's usually a shadowed area, like in the angle of her ears, and so we're just going to go ahead and make sure that we're putting our shadows down. And I love her little ears. I love the ears that Mysticart Mirrors Kristen Glorious Ink draws. I don't know why I have to say her whole two names. One is her artist name and then one is like her tattoo name, I think, because she does tattoos. I'm not sure, but anywho, that's essentially what I'm doing with Huntsman, mapping out my shadow areas. And I really enjoy doing this part for some reason. I don't know. Once you put your shadows in, I feel like it really helps. And just me personally, I feel like it really helps me and the picture starts to come together. And I like to figure out where my shadows should be. Even though I'm no lighting expert and whatnot, I'm still learning. But it's kind of fun for me to always figure these parts out in my pictures. So here I have light bronze, and light bronze is a color from the newest set of Black Widows called the Monarch set. And light bronze is a really nice color, and it really goes with brown. And I'm like, I really need to use this color more. And I was looking at my swatch book, and I saw it, and I was like, this is going to work for my moss that I would like to make my fairy have. But also, just if you want to use this in your skin color overall for this, would be great, I think. But I'm using it as a base for my greens that I'm going to throw in here. And I told y'all I was making a moss fairy. And yeah, this is the part where we're starting to build up for that green that we would like. And light bronze is the lightest of the greens that we're going to use. So essentially, I'm using it to map out where I'm going to put the rest of my greens. So this is really helpful for me to figure out where and how I would like that to look. So here I have Forest from the Cobra set, and Forest is a really nice green, and this will be the darkest of my greens. And I'm just going to go ahead and start laying down my light layer of Forest and figuring out where I would like it to be as far as it's going to go to make her become the most fairy in my mind that I foresee her to be. And Black Widows has some really nice colors. Honestly, Black Widows are like my second favorite pencil set. Prismacolor being first and foremost, of course. But Black Widows are like my favorite, I guess, budget-friendly pencil. They're so nice and they have so many colors. And then with the addition of the newer colors, and they even have the skin sets, you just get such a variety in them, and they're really great. And I really need to use them more. I do use them, but not as much as I feel like I should. But here I'm just using Forest to put down the color green, because I told y'all we were going to throw green in there. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing right here. And her ears really remind me of that elf in The Witcher. If you've watched that Netflix show The Witcher with Henry Cavill, I really like that show. I can't wait for season 2. I watched the video game on YouTube because it's actually based on novels, the show, because it is novels and a video game. Anyway, these ears remind me of that little elf boy from there, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to pop up a picture so y'all know I'm not just talking just to talk. I actually have a point of reference. But yeah, I really like these little ears, and the green we're throwing in here. And yeah, when I was thinking about throwing green in here, I kept thinking about Nickelodeon. Anyone who grew up in the 90s, because I'm a 90s baby, and getting slimed would be like the highlight of your life. If you were a kid in the 90s, that's all everyone wanted to do was go to Nickelodeon Studios and get slimed. But that's what my mind started thinking of too, coloring this green. But it's not going to be that green. It's going to be a nice olivey brown tone green that we're going for our fairy. And I'm just throwing it around on her ears, her eyes. I'm going to do her back and her arm because in my mind, she lives in the forest and she's of the forest and she just has moss naturally on her because she's one with nature and everything. So that's pretty much my backstory for why I'm doing this. And I'm going to try to remember to designate each color of the pencil that I'm using to the set that it is in for the Black Widows. I can't make promises. I'm really going to try because I do own all of the sets. So I'm going to try to make sure I put like Cobra or Scorpion or whatever the set may be so that it can hopefully be helpful if you have the sets that I'm coloring with and you can find your pencils. And I mean, I'm going to list it in the description box that way, not necessarily in the video. So as you can see, wherever we put down our bronze, our light bronze, it was the guideline for how we're going to put our forest in. And I am using a light hand. As you can see, you can probably barely have seen it on her ear, but I'm using a very light hand because we're doing light layers. But for the crease of her eye, I am bearing down a little bit with a little bit harder with more pressure because that is a shadow area. But I am blending it out really lightly, and as you can see, I do use a really light hand, and we want that because we still have to come in with more colors and we want to be able to layer as much as we like. Here I have olive green, and olive green is our mid-tone color, and we're just going to use it to smooth everything out, and then to also, just layer on top of our other colors. But mostly it's just to smooth everything out and make sure everything plays nicely together. Here with light bronze, we're just going to go ahead and take it to blend everything out nicely and make sure that our colors have a smooth transition into each other, like from the brown to the green. Now I'm coming in with Black Widow, which is our darkest color, and I'm just going to pop it into the most shadowed areas. And again, the angles. And yeah, I do admit that on the Black Widow set, the words are kind of difficult to see, so that is something to bear in mind if you would like them. I think the Black Widow set is the only one with the red writing, and then the other sets they did white or something like that. I don't know. I think so. But I'm just popping it into the darkest areas, making sure that I have that contrast. Right here, I'm just making a shadow for her hair. And you don't have to do this, but it's just something that I'm going to do. And sorry for my glasses making a cameo. I told y'all when I color, I'm like right up on an image like Mr. Magoo, even though I have my glasses on. But I can't help it. That's just, I really like to be in my picture. I really like to be up in my picture. Here I have Rusty from the Monarch set, and Rusty is one of my favorite colors. Like, I love this color. I really do like reddish brown colors because I like terracotta and the Prismacolor set, and I don't know, I just really like them. They make me happy, so I'm using Rusty in this skin so that we can make her look a bit more lively. And I don't know why I just thought of Blake Lively. I don't know why I thought her when I just said that. I guess her last name. Anyway, we're going to use Rusty and we're making her skin look a bit more lively. And I really like this color. It's so pretty. And I'm just lightly adding it to the skin, incorporating it, and making sure to blend it out smoothly. Lastly, we have our olive brown, rounding everything out, and now I'm really burnishing. Now I'm really bearing down into the paper, blending everything out because we have all our layers down, so it's okay to do so. And I'm just smoothing everything out, and this will essentially pretty much be the last step of our skin for this picture. So I really am pleased with how it came out. I really like the outcome and the end result, and it came out how I foresaw it in my mind for the most part, so that's always a good thing. And yeah, really hope you enjoyed. If you followed along, if you have the Black Widows, hopefully you found a nice skin color combination that you can use in the future, or if it helps you out in any way, again, the colors will be listed in the description box below. And thank you to all my subscribers, new and old. I appreciate you watching because you can watch anything on YouTube. I'm thankful that you're still invested in my channel and watch my videos. And hope this was fun for you, because it was fun for me. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Hope everyone's staying safe out there and taking care in the world wherever you are, and finding happiness where you can. Thanks for watching. Take care.